Um, Here goes. Have you ever wanted to be someone else? Someone older, younger, wealthier, thinner, more influential, or in my case, just taller, because I'm 5'7", and it's kind of short for a guy. But all jokes aside, I have thought far too often and far too long on the idea of being someone else. And during the most difficult times of my life, I wanted to be anyone else. But I deal with the same issues that many of you do, right? All of these posters and calendars and coffee table quote books, all encouraging me to be myself, be authentic, be true. But that advice doesn't always work, because in the most difficult times of my life, when I'm really depressed, when I'm really feeling down, it's because I don't like me. I don't like me. I don't like the things that I do. And so I became obsessed, unfortunately, with the idea of being liked by others, because sadly and honestly, the more I'm liked by others, the more I like me. And the more I like me, the more I start to feel empowered and enthusiastic and doing positive things for myself. So I started doing some research, and by research, I mean just watching a bunch of movies and TV shows, but only the popular ones, not for recreation, but this time for education. And after a series of long studying, what I have discovered is people love superheroes. I mean, even during a pandemic, there's a movie about a superhero in theaters. There are so many more just waiting to be released once the theaters fully open. We can't get enough of the idea of someone swooping in from the sky with superior strength or speed or powers beyond human comparison and measure. The idea that someone would come in to save the day. But the sad thing is, when we aren't looking at our TVs, our tablets, and our cell phones and looking at fake heroes and fake stories, when you change to anything else, what you see, especially now, is real pain, real suffering, no heroes. And so I think, a lot of us don't see an opportunity. We don't see an opportunity to be a hero. But then I thought, actually, we've all had a very simple, common situation. So imagine, if you will, it's 8:45 in the morning, and it's pre-COVID, so you're on your 9 to 5 grind, right? And you're driving to work, but on this particularly unfortunate morning, now it's 8:45, and you've got 15 minutes left to get somewhere will take you 20, because if you don't get there in time, you will get a condescending email, or worse, a look from your boss. But like I said, on this particular morning at about 8:45, through no fault of their own, the driver in front of you hits some road debris, and boom, tire explodes. They're sent veering uncontrollably into the concrete barricade. Their vehicle stops. Smoke, fumes rise from the hood of their car. They're stopped, you're frozen, and all the other drivers. And in that moment, first thing you probably think to yourself is, I should probably stop. I should probably check to see if they're okay. I should at the very least call for an ambulance or a cop or something. But then sadly, this other part of our brain kicks in, something called the bystander effect. What you start doing is you look around and you say, there are 7 other drivers. I'm sure someone else will stop and help. I'm sure someone else will call for an ambulance or the police. Or you say to yourself, even though the person in the car is disoriented, just got into an accident, I mean, they have a cell phone. I'm sure they're calling for someone else to come and help. But what we've learned in life is, when we assume someone else will, oftentimes no one else does. And I use the analogy and the example of a car accident for 2 reasons. One, we've all seen somebody on the side of the road struggling, usually on their own, to fix something so they can get back on their way. And we drove by. And the second reason why I use that as an example is because in the year that we've all experienced, it's the closest I can come to understanding what has happened. I mean, think about it. We were all just going about our way, and through no fault of our own, we were left isolated, disoriented, scared, and for many people, alone. And instead of being stuck in the car, we're stuck in the house. And just as many people that drive alone live alone. So we're experiencing this. It's as though we're all stranded on the side of the road, just far enough away to be from each other's view. And here we are once again, waiting for someone else to call, waiting for someone else to help, waiting for someone else to be there. But we're always waiting for someone else. In our relationships, we say, if I was with someone else, I would feel loved and appreciated. If I worked for someone else, I would feel acknowledged and properly compensated. And then politically, we always say, oh, well, I'm sure someone else will right what's been wrong. I'm sure someone else will fix what's been broken for far too long. The whole world is waiting for someone else, but that someone else is us. And my personal belief, and I don't mean to sound inconsiderate of anyone who's suffered, of anyone who's lost, but my personal belief is that the numerous people who have died in a hospital had very little to do with what the virus was doing to their body, and a lot more to do with what isolation was doing to their spirit. Because it's hard. It's hard to fight a battle. It's hard to stand strong. It's hard not to give up. When you look around and you don't easily see allies, it's easy to forget who and what you're fighting for when you're the only one there. So if you want to save a life in today's world, you don't need flight or strength or speed. You need a cell phone and some time to call someone else and let them know you're thinking about them. Some time to be there for someone else and let them know that they matter. It's time. The world is waiting for someone else. And that someone else is you. Thank you.